What do cave paintings, the Mona Lisa, a splashy Monet, and a graffiti mural on a city wall have in common? They're not just artworks. They're evidence of moments when people collectively decided to see the world differently. Those moments are called art movements, and they didn't just change art. They changed how we think, how we live, and how we understand ourselves. Today, on Let's Discover Art, we're exploring art movements that changed everything, why they exist, how they reflect society, and why they still matter today. Art movements don't appear randomly. They emerge when artists share a common frustration, curiosity, or vision, usually in response to the world around them. At their core, art movements exist because artists are human. They react, they rebel, they respond. For centuries, art followed strict rules. During the Renaissance, artists were expected to master realism, perspective, anatomy, and ideal beauty. And for a long time, that worked. But eventually, those rules began to feel limiting. Artists started asking, why must art look real? Why must beauty look the same? Why should art only serve religion, royalty, or tradition? When enough artists ask the same questions at the same time, a movement is born. Art movements also exist because artists rarely work in isolation. They gather in studios, cafes, academies, and cities. They share ideas, challenge each other, and push boundaries together. Think of Impressionists painting side by side, outdoor surrealists exchanging ideas about dreams, and the HistoryOfArt artists redefining what art could even be. Movement gives artists a shared language, a sense of belonging, and the courage to try something radically new. If you want to understand an era, don't just read its history books. Look at its art. Art movements are mirrors of the societies that created them. When society changes, art changes with it. The Industrial Revolution brought machines, factories, and fast-paced city life. Artists responded. Impressionism captured fleeting moments and modern life. Realism showed workers and everyday people, not idealized heroes. After World War I, the world felt broken and unstable. Dada rejected logic and tradition entirely. Surrealism turned inward, exploring dreams and the unconscious. Art didn't just document these moments, it processed them. Art movements often speak when words aren't enough. Romanticism challenged cold rationalism with emotion and nature. Social realism exposed inequality and injustice. Feminist art questioned who gets represented and who gets erased. Even abstract art can be political. Choosing not to show reality can itself be a statement. Art becomes a visual conversation about power, identity for a phone. As photography, film, and digital tools emerged, art adapted. Why paint perfect portraits when a camera can do it instantly? Movements like Cubism and abstract expressionism weren't about copying reality. They were about interpreting it. Each movement reveals what society valued, feared, or dreamed of at that moment in time. So why should we care about art movements today? Because we're still living inside them. Every contemporary artist stands on the shoulders of earlier movements. Street art borrows from pop art's bold visual styles, rebellion, political mural traditions. Digital art echoes surrealism's dream logic, abstract art's emotional freedom, understanding. Movements helps us see that today's art isn't random. It's part of an ongoing conversation. Art movements train us to look closer. Once you understand Impressionism, you notice light. Once you understand Cubism, you notice perspective. Once you understand conceptual art, you question ideas over objects. These skills extend beyond art. They help us think critically, question norms, appreciate multiple viewpoints. Art movements aren't over, they're evolving. Today's movements are shaped by globalization, social media, climate change, identity, and representation. It's are still responding to their world, just as they always have. And future generations will look back at our art to understand us. Art movements remind us that creativity is never isolated. It's shaped by history, fueled by emotion, and driven by the need to express something true. They exist because people change. They reflect society because art is human. And they still matter because the story isn't finished. This has been Let's Discover Art. And the next movement, it might already be happening.